I had a dream which was not all a dream. The bright sun was extinguished, and the stars did wander, darkling in the eternal space. Rayless and pathless, and the icy earth swung blind and blackening in the moonless air. This was the start of a poem written by Lord Byron in 1816, known as The Year Without Summer. A year earlier, a volcanic eruption in Indonesia, the largest in recorded human history, had spewed billions of tons of ash into the atmosphere, cooling the Earth by 0.7 degrees centigrade. That doesn't sound like much, but fields froze solid and snow fell in the middle of summer. Harvests failed across Europe and as far away as the United States, triggering a worldwide famine. Yet this extreme global catastrophe pales in comparison to what we could expect from even the most minor exchange of nuclear weapons. Here's why we should never forget about the terrifying potential of a nuclear winter. Nuclear weapons are uniquely dangerous in three ways. The first is the initial blast. Only 2 nuclear weapons have ever been used in warfare. When the United States bombed the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, leveling them in an instant and causing unimaginable death and suffering. These 2 bombs exploded with a combined destructive power of around 37,000 tons of high explosive. Yet despite the devastation they caused, they are tiny when compared to the weapons in modern nuclear arsenals. The second effect of nuclear weapons is radiation. Within 20 to 30 minutes of the blast, radioactive ash from the mushroom cloud would land, covering the blast site and the surrounding area, killing everyone who happened to be outside. Water and soil contamination would cause radiation sickness and birth defects for years to come. Most recent studies use a potential nuclear conflict between India and Pakistan as their model. The 2 countries are traditional enemies and have relatively small nuclear arsenals. Nevertheless, a nuclear war between them would kill between 50 to 125 million people, ranking as one of the deadliest events in human history. But those are just the initial effects. The third effect is the triggering of a nuclear winter. The vast plumes of radioactive ash and soot from the burning cities would enter the upper atmosphere, spreading around the planet and blocking the sun in the same way as the eruption of 1815. This worldwide dimming would trigger a temperature drop of up to 5 degrees centigrade. Global harvests would fail for at least a decade, leading to tens of millions more deaths around the world. The resulting ozone depletion would also destroy a significant proportion of plant, marine and animal life across the planet. Skin cancers, DNA mutation and eye damage would be widespread in humans and animals alike. This, coupled with violent competition over shrinking resources, civil unrest due to mass starvation, and rapidly shifting weather patterns triggering financial collapse, would disrupt all human life with not one part of the planet left unscathed. As nightmarish and impossible as this may all seem, it's still only based on a relatively small nuclear conflict between 2 countries that only own 230 nuclear weapons. The United States and Russia have a staggering 12,675 nuclear warheads between them. Not to mention China, France, the United Kingdom, Israel, and North Korea, who all have their own weapons. Since the end of the Cold War, when global destruction was possible and at times almost certain, the world has forgotten the destructive power of what even a small number of nuclear weapons can do to the planet. But as long as this weaponry exists, it will remain a terrifying possibility.